Morning, my name is Dr. Samir Dashputre, Assistant Professor, Mathematics, Government College Arjunda. Now, in this video lecture, we discuss the properties of inner product space, some theorems related to the inner product space. Now, in the previous video lecture, we established the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Now, we start our lecture from this theorem. Every inner product space is a norm spatial. Now, we prove the theorem. Since inner product space is a vector space, so it is required to prove only the properties of norm, because we know that the inner product space is a vector space, so it is required to prove that only the properties of the norm. So our first property, the norm of x is greater than or equal to 0, and the norm of x, it is equal to 0 if and only if x it is equal to 0 here. Now this proof is very simple. The norm of x is denoted by the root over inner product of x comma x. Okay, now since x is the element of this inner product space, this inner product is positive and the square root is positive, so obviously it is greater than or equal to 0. And second, the norm of x, it is equal to 0. It implies that the inner product of x comma x is equal to 0, or again it implies that x it is equal to 0. The converse part is very simple. If you can take x is 0, then this inner product is 0, so that the norm is equal to 0 here. Now come to the second property of the norm. We take norm of alpha x, it is equal to mod of alpha into norm of x. Okay, where alpha is any scalar. Alpha is any scalar. It is any scalar quantity. Now the proof of this statement is very simple. The norm of alpha x whole square is equal to inner product of alpha x into alpha x. Now we simplify alpha into alpha bar, inner product of xx, that is equal to, this is mod of alpha square, norm of x square, which is equal to norm of alpha x square. This square and this square is cancelled out. Then we have the norm of alpha x, it is equal to mod of alpha into norm of x. So second property is true of the norm space. Now we prove that the third property, that is your triangle inequality. Third one is triangle inequality. The norm of x plus y, which is less than or equal to norm of x plus norm of y for all x comma y belongs to x. Okay, where x is inner product space. Now the proof is very simple. You can take norm of x plus y whole square, which is equal to inner product of x plus y comma x plus y. We apply the linearity property. The x plus y comma x plus, next is x plus y comma y. We use the linear property here, or linearity property, Rakhita Gundhar, or linearity property. Then this is equal to x comma x plus y comma x. Okay, the next term is x comma y plus y comma y. So it is your the norm of x square plus, we use the symmetric property here, then this is inner product of x comma y bar plus x comma y plus norm of y square. Okay, but we know that z plus z bar, it is equal to 2 times real number of z, and the real of z is less than mod of z. Okay, so we apply this quantity here, less than or equal to, so it is less than or equal to the norm of x square plus 2 times the real of z. Z is here inner product of x comma y plus norm of y square, this part. Now we use the Cauchy and Schwarz inequality. This is norm of x square plus 2 norm of x into norm of y plus norm of y square. So it is nothing but it is a plus b whole square. So this is equal to less than or equal to the norm of x plus norm of x plus norm of y whole square. We simplify this relation, then we have the norm of x plus y is less than or equal to norm of x plus norm of y, hence the triangle inequality is true. So our theorem is complete. Every inner product space is a norm space. The norm is induced by the norm of x, it is equal to root over inner product of x comma y. This is very important theorem. Every inner product space is a norm space. Now come to the next theorem. Under what condition the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality becomes equality? This is our theorem. Under what condition it is equality? The Cauchy-Schwarz inequality is equality. So theorem is Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. Cauchy-Schwarz inequality hold equality, that is the norm mod of inner product x comma y, it is equal to norm of x into norm of y if and only x and y are linearly dependent. X and y are linearly dependent. इक्वलिटी तभी होल्ड करेगा जब x और y रैखिक परतंत्र हो, दैट इज लीनियरली डिपेंडेंट. अब लीनियरली डिपेंडेंट रैखिक परतंत्र, इसका मतलब ये हो गया लीनियरली डिपेंडेंट का मतलब द x वेक्टर एक्सप्रेस द स्केलर मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑफ अदर, देयर c is scalar or y is scalar multiplication of x. Now the proof of this theorem is very simple. The proof, we assume that the mod of inner product x comma y, which is equal to norm of x into norm of y, then we prove that the x and y are linearly dependent. When we prove that x and y is linearly dependent, that means in anyhow we can show that this x can be expressed as a linear combination. X can be expressed as a scalar multiplication of the other vector. Okay. So here we consider two cases. The case 1, if we assume that either x is 0 or y is 0. So if you assume that x is 0 or y is 0, then this inequality holds into equality format. If x is 0 then this part is 0, this part is 0, 0 is equal to 0, and these two vectors are 0, any one of the vectors or two vectors are 0, then obviously it is your linearly dependent. Now we assume the case number 2. In the case number 2, if we assume that either x is not equal to 0 or y is not equal to 0. Okay. So if we assume that y is not equal to 0, so the inner product of x comma y is not equal to 0. We assume that x is not equal to 0, y is not equal to 0, then the inner product of x comma y is not equal to 0, and the inner product y comma y is not equal to 0. Okay. Therefore, if we assume that lambda, it is equal to inner product of x comma y divided by inner product of y comma y, which is equal to the inner product of x comma y divided by norm of y whole square. Obviously it is not equal to 0 due to this condition. Due to this condition, it is not equal to 0. Now we compute that lambda bar, because the lambda bar is conjugate of lambda is important here. We compute lambda bar. That lambda bar, it is equal to the conjugate of inner product x comma y over norm of y square, which is equal to y comma x over norm of y square. This is the value of lambda bar and this is the value of lambda, and both are not equal to 0. Now we compute that. Next we compute that this part. The inner product of x minus lambda y comma x minus lambda y, we compute this part. So which is equal to, by linearity property, x minus lambda y comma x plus x minus lambda y comma minus lambda y. Now we apply the linearity property, which is equal to inner product of x comma x minus lambda y comma x. We solve this relation first. Now we solve this relation plus inner product of x comma y. Since it is your second coordinate, therefore we have minus lambda bar. Minus minus plus lambda into lambda bar y comma y. This is okay. Now we substitute the value of lambda and lambda bar in this expression. Then this is equal to norm of x square minus, we substitute the value of lambda here. The value of lambda is the inner product of x comma y multiplied by y comma x whole divided by norm of y square minus, we substitute the value of lambda bar. The lambda bar is inner product of y comma x comma y whole divided by norm of y square plus lambda into lambda bar. Lambda into lambda bar is inner product of x comma y comma x whole divided by norm of y to the power 4 multiplied by norm of y square. Okay. Now this norm of square is cancelled. This term and this term are opposite, so it will be cancelled. So next step, we have the norm of x square minus, this is mod of x comma y whole square divided by norm of norm of y square, because this is your z and this part is your z bar, then z into z bar, it is mod of z square. So this expression can be written as mod of z square, where z is equal to inner product of x comma y. Now again, by the assumption, in the assumption we assume that this is equal to norm of x square into norm of y square whole divided by norm of y square, because starting we assume that this is true, this is hold. In the assumption we assume that this condition is true, so this norm of y square will be cancelled, this norm x square is cancelled, so that the inner product of x minus lambda y comma x minus lambda y, which is equal to 0. So inner product is 0 if and only if the x minus lambda y is equal to 0. Again it is equal to x equal to lambda y. This vector can be expressed as a scalar multiplication of y. Therefore x is linearly dependent, x is linearly dependent to y. So x and y are linearly dependent. This part is proof. Now we take the converse part. Conversely, we take conversely, that is converse of this theorem. We assume that x and y are linearly dependent. X and y are linearly dependent. That is, for any scalar lambda which is not equal to 0, x can be written as lambda y. For all x and y belongs to x in the inner product space x. So we prove that the modulus of inner product x comma y, which is equal to norm of x into norm of y. It is our requirement to prove that this is true. So how we can prove that? Let here the mod of x comma y, which is equal to, we put x is equal to inner product of lambda y comma y. This is equal to this much. Now this is real number, so that mod of lambda into inner product of y comma y, this is mod of lambda norm of y square, because by the definition of the norm, which is equal to lambda, this part is norm of y multiplied by norm of y. Okay, now apply the property of the norm. This is equal to lambda norm y multiplied by norm of y. Now this lambda y is equal to x, so this is your norm of x into norm of y, which is equal to the modulus of x comma y. Hence proved. Now we discuss the parallelogram law in an inner product space. Let x be an inner product space, and for all x comma y belongs to x, the norm of x plus y whole square plus norm of x minus y whole square is equal to 2 times the norm of x whole square into norm of y square. For all x and y belongs to x. Now the proof of this theorem or law is very simple. Let here capital X, small x and small y be any two elements of inner product space. First we solve this. The norm of x plus y whole square is equal to inner product of x plus y xy. Now we apply the linearity property x plus y comma x plus x plus y comma y. So it is equal to the inner product of xx plus y comma x plus x comma y plus y comma y. So it is equal to inner product of x square. This is inner product of yx plus inner product of xy plus norm of y square. Say it is your equation number 1. Now compute the second equation in the similar line. Norm of x minus y whole square. Instead of this plus we take the minus, we repeat this process same. Then we have the norm of x square minus inner product of y comma x minus x comma y plus norm of y square. Say it is your equation number 2. Now we add equation 1 and equation 2. Equation 1 plus equation 2. So we observe that this portion and this portion will be cancelled out and it is twice time. So our result becomes the norm of x plus y whole square, norm of x minus y whole square is equal to 2 times norm of x square plus norm of y square for all xy belongs to x. Now this is called parallelogram law. Now we establish the another law, that is called polarization law. Polarization law. We discuss the polarization law. We discuss the polarization law. What is the polarization law? For any two elements of inner product space, for any two element of the inner product space, say x and y belongs to x, then the inner product of x comma y is equal to 1 by 4 the norm of x plus y whole square, the norm of x minus y whole square, it is your minus sign, minus plus iota times the norm of x plus iy whole square minus iota times x minus iy whole square. This is called polarization law. Now in the previous proof, that is in the parallelogram law, we have equation number 1 and 2. So again I repeat here the proof that here x and y belongs to x, where capital X is an inner product space. We already compute the norm of x plus y whole square, which is equal to the norm of x square plus norm of y square plus the inner product of x comma y plus inner product of y comma x. It is your equation number 1 in the previous theorem. Now the next term is the norm of x minus y whole square, which is equal to norm of x square plus norm of y square minus inner product of x comma y minus inner product of y comma x. It is your equation number 2 in the previous parallelogram law. In the parallelogram law. Now, we say that this is your portion A and this is your portion B. So A plus B becomes your total required result. So equation 1 minus equation 2 implies your part A. So equation 1 minus equation 2 implies your part A. You can subtract these two equations. Subtract this equation, minus minus plus plus. So this portion and this portion is cancelled out. So we have the norm of x plus y whole square minus norm of x minus y whole square. It is equal to 2 times inner product of x comma y plus 2 times inner product of y comma x. This is portion A. So we write here the portion A in this here, the x plus y whole square minus norm of x minus y whole square is equal to 2 times the inner product of x comma y plus 2 times y comma y. Again we rewrite here. Now come to the next part, that is norm of x plus iy. The norm of x plus iy whole square, which is equal to the inner product of x plus iy comma x minus iy. Now we apply the linearity property. The x plus iy comma x plus iy comma minus iy. Now we simplify. This is norm inner product of xx plus I times y comma x. You take the minus is common here. So minus x comma iy. Okay. Then again minus iy comma iy. Now again we simplify. This is norm of x square plus I times the norm of y comma x minus conjugate of I. So conjugate of I is minus iota x comma y. Then this is minus I into I bar. I bar is equal to minus 1. This portion. I bar equal to minus 1. So I square equal to minus becomes plus. So minus norm of y square. This becomes here norm of y square with plus, because it is multiplied 2 times. So it is your plus norm of y square. Okay. So we have the norm of x square plus iota times inner product of x comma y minus plus I bar. This is here something. This is plus minus I. Just 1 minute. Minus I inner product of x comma y plus norm of y square. Here it should be plus. Okay. So final result becomes, after multiplication of iota, x plus iy whole square is equal to iota times x norm of x square, then minus plus iota times yx minus I square equal to minus plus iota time, this is I square equal to minus 1 plus iota plus x comma y plus iota time norm of y square. Say it is your equation number 3. Similarly, we compute that the iota times norm of x minus iy whole square, which is equal to iota times the norm of x whole square, then minus iota time inner product of y comma x plus iota time inner product of xy and plus y square. You can take multiplied by iota, minus iota, this is minus iota, this becomes minus y minus x, this becomes plus, and this becomes minus iota. This is your 4. So you observe that equation, these 3 and 4, equation 3 plus equation 4, we have the iota times norm of x plus iy whole square minus iota time the x minus iy whole square, which is equal to minus 2 times y comma x plus 2 times inner product of x comma y. This is your equation number B. So again add the equation A and B. The A is already here, B is here. So equation A plus equation B. Equation A plus equation B implies that the norm of x plus y whole square minus the norm of x minus y whole square plus iota time the norm of x plus iy whole square minus iota time x minus iy whole square, which is equal to 4 times the inner product of x comma y. Hence we get the required result. Hence the polarization identity, the proof of polarization identity is over. Thank you.